What is up? Good morning, guys. Good morning. Greg, you're probably the first one in the room. Always bright and early. So good to see you guys pile in. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. I hope everybody had a wonderful, wonderful long weekend and got to spend a lot of time with your families. Let's see. I'm going to give everybody a little bit more time to join back. Yes, I am, Greg. I was back August 24th. So I got back on August 24th. Yeah, it's been a 3-month long vacation, so I'm definitely glad to be back. Let me disconnect my microphone real quick. So it's great. Good morning, YouTube family. How's everybody doing today? Good morning, Ron. What's up? Good morning, Jay Linder. Good morning, guys. Today, I just looked at our Slack, and we don't really have too many, I guess, numbers or data coming out. So I guess today should be a fun day to trade. My favorite gap today has to be, provided we open that way, has to be Apple. And it is, give me 1 second. This is the monthly chart. I was just looking at Apple's monthly chart real quick, but on the daily, it's looking a little dippity. Again, I don't personally prefer shorting Apple because every dip just kind of gets bought. It is also gapping down to this gap fill area, but I do feel like we've had 4 green days in a row. Technically, I mean, even though this is a red candle, it still is a hammer candle or a spin top candle. So, technically I consider this slightly green as well. So we've had quite a bit of bullish momentum. So I do feel like a little bit of a pullback is definitely valid. I don't know if we're going to get to the 10 EMA today, but that's where my target would be. That's where I would think that Apple could pull down to. So I'm really looking forward to this gap and go. I think if you guys have watched me on Tuesdays for quite a while, I don't prefer gap and goes when, well, actually, this is a pretty good gap and go. I can't really complain about it, but okay. I know it's a red candle, and I know it's not really gap and go, but anyway, you guys get the point. What I'm trying to say is I think we can pull back quite a bit. We can retest this level. I'm not announcing apocalypse. I'm not saying, oh, we're all just going to go down to zero, but I do think that we can pull back quite a bit on Apple today. So that's something I will definitely be watching out for. American Express also has a pretty decent retest gap. Let's look at AXP, and I have it on my watch list right now. It is a retest gap. It's kind of this cluster, but what's interesting is, I could see American Express go a lot higher, and I do think today it's gonna take off and continue on higher. But what I see on the monthly chart is kind of interesting too. So we have this area of the 10 and the 20 on the monthly chart. We also have this trend line right here on AXP. And so it's very important for this guy to hold this level and not go crashing down, because if it does, then it'll be a beautiful double top and we could pull back quite a bit, right? So if we were to just ignore all, if we were to just look at it in terms of a line chart, we could easily see that this is simply a retest and we're looking to continue up. So that's what the monthly chart looks like so far. I kind of like the way it looks. Weekly also, just like Apple, in the opposite direction right now. We've had quite a bit of selling off, and so a retest is only likely for this week on AXP. So I'm looking forward to a bullish momentum on American Express. Interesting fact, guys, American Express derives 80% of their revenue from credit card processing fees, not from the interest rates that you might think that it does. Although that helps, but that's only 20% of their income, which I thought was really cool. And AXP for the long term is slightly undervalued. So it might be a good thing to dip your toes in if you're looking for that long-term investment. Airbnb is also with this massive gap up. Yes, I did read about that, Jason. Let's look at Airbnb real quick also. I thought I had it on my watch list, but if not, then I'll add it to it. All right, Airbnb, massive gap up. It's getting included into the S&P 500. Pretty awesome gap and go. I would not be looking for a bear move at all on this. I don't know if you guys remember the Tesla inclusion into S&P 500. That move lasted for Tesla for at least a couple of days. I'm not sure how long this Airbnb move is going to last, but it's definitely going to continue. So I am going to look for continuation on Airbnb, maybe a slight pullback at open, and then buy the dip on it. That's what I am definitely looking forward to. Anything else other than that, I'm not interested. I would not want to get in the way of fading this one or shorting this one by any means. There's been a lot of sellage and a lot of bears might be trapped at this point. So it's gapping into a decent level. Let's see where it is on a weekly chart. Yeah, I could easily see it go. I mean, even if we were to consider this as a bear flag, I could easily see this go, make another high to 160 and then maybe pull back a little bit. But until then, I mean, there's not much along the way in Airbnb. If it was gapping up over here, I'd be a little bit more skeptical because there is all that resistance, but we're getting all of that resistance out of the way and we're gapping up. So I like it for a bullish momentum, bullish run up. Let's see how far it goes today. Definitely not looking for a short on this. So definitely in my bull basket, let me add Airbnb to my watch list. That's one of the tickers I will definitely be looking for to do something different than the broader markets, pretty much. Oracle also has an interesting gap. So Oracle on a shorter time frame, we can see, I don't know why. I mean, it's not earnings. I don't know why it's gapping up. You're in a swing on it. That's awesome. Jason P from RLT is in a swing on Airbnb, and congratulations, Jason. So at open now, Jason, what do you think at open? Are you gonna take profits or are you gonna hold? What is? I just want you to be honest and just tell me what your honest opinion is in that regard on Airbnb. I'll wait for him to answer. Second. Jason said, hold. Yes. Bingo. Spot on. Because why not? I mean, it's getting included in the S&P 500. I don't think it's going down. I think it's only going to go higher. The company performs pretty well. The chart looks great. There's this cute little double bottom happening. Everything looks great. So why would you not hold, right? And so if Jason thinks like that, I want to say majority of Airbnb shareholders think like that, especially the people from here. Nobody, all of these green candles, nobody in their right mind is going to say, but they may take some profits. They may, trim some position, but I don't think it's going to be anything massive. So I would only look for a continuation on Airbnb. I would not be looking for a fade. Normally, when something like this gaps up without reason, I usually like to fade it. For example, Lulu. Last Friday, I was so hell-bent on fading Lulu, but it never really, it gave me a chance to do so, but then it also flew high up. So, I'm usually chasing that move, but for Airbnb, for a reason like this, I wouldn't do it. So yeah, only bullish momentum on this guy. All right, this is also a gap and go with an inside candle on Oracle. On a shorter time frame, I'm sure we could see this inverse. Let's go look at this inverse head and shoulders, and then a cute little retest of it. So I guess not really clear, but no, not very clear on it, but it's pretty cute. We're kind of breaking out of all of this chop and we're going higher, all of these resistance levels, and we're going higher. So I would look for a dip opportunity on this and wait for it to continue. Now, if you're going to swing this, if you're going to hold this overnight, then my target would somewhere be up here, or maybe a slight new high. But I definitely see Oracle going a little bit higher. I don't know if you want to hold over earnings. Earnings are in 14, so next week, in 10 days. But I don't know if you want to hold this over earnings, but definitely a keeper. If you're already in it, that's great for you. Congratulations. But yeah, I certainly like this move for a bullish continuation. So far we've got Airbnb and Oracle in the positive direction, and also Amex, AXP, and Apple in the bearish direction. Now, we know if Apple goes lower, then the broader market also gets dragged down, right? And I mean, by the broader market, I mean S&P 500 and the Qs. Qs especially. I mean, Apple's going to drag tech down and Qs are going to go with it. So let's go look at Qs real quick, and then we'll go look at futures today. Futures are kind of, whatever. The Qs. So, if we hadn't gone up this far, I would, if we had just kind of stayed there and kind of dipped and continued on higher, I would have been okay with it. But the fact that I would think it's a bear flag and we're going to break down. But the fact that we're kind of, we're not really bear flagging at this point, So it doesn't really look like that sort of a bear flag. Qs have a decent gap down. I mean, it's not really a gap down necessarily, but they're pulling back quite a bit. I do think a retest of the 10 EMA is likely. So today I would be looking for that retest of the 10 EMA. I entered a short on Friday on the Qs. It's not anything major. It was with roughly about 48 shares. Just something tiny, because I knew we could pull back, and I'm still holding on to it. So I'm up tiny a little bit today, right now. And I think if we touch the 10 EMA today, I would go close that position out. But I think we're going to retest this level, at least come down to 373, 372.50-ish level, and then look for that bullish move up. But yeah, I do think Qs are going to get pulled down a little bit today. That's what I'm looking for. I think that's very, very plausible. SPY also, on a weekly chart on the Qs, let's look at this. So on a weekly chart, my friend Emily posted, kind of sort of mentioned, this being a 0, 1, 2, this whole move as a 3, a 4, and a 5 of continuation. And I could see that. I definitely see it. So maybe one more high, and then maybe we pull back quite a bit. I don't know. Or we just continue higher. Doesn't matter. But on a weekly chart, we all look very healthy. We're not really looking like, oh, we're going to go sinking down. Now, if today's gap was a gap down below this level, I'd be worried a little bit, but it's not. It's just in a good place, good position. Let's actually put fibs on this and reverse this. So I'm just measuring this candle right here, the last candle on the weekly level, and seeing where the 618 is. Yeah, the 618 is roughly where the 10 EMA on the daily is. So I could see it pull back down to 371, 370, 50 area, and then continue on higher, and we'd still be very happy and healthy. It still looks very, very good for a bullish continuation. So yeah, just hang in there, guys. If you're bullish, hold on to your position, wait for that dip to happen, and then look for that continuation. If you're bearish like me, if you shorted something and you're quick swing shorting something, I'm going to close out my position today if we get to my level of 372.50. I'll be out of it, and I don't have very large stake in it, so I'm okay. All right, let's move on to SPY really quickly. SPY on the daily is also doing the same exact thing as the Qs. A slight pullback is definitely valid. On SPY, we have this beautiful double bottom. Had this move not been this high, I would have still considered it a bear flag. Had this move done something like this, and then come down, I would have still been like, oh, it's a bear flag and we're going to break down. But the fact that we're kind of sort of high for a bear flag doesn't really look very bear flaggish to me anymore. So on SPY as well, I mean, I'd look for a pullback to the 10 EMA, buy the dip on this, guys, and see if we can continue higher to new highs, I guess. That's how I see it. That's how I foresee it. Again, could things turn around because somebody said something? Sure. But until then, if I'm just to trade charts, then that's the most sensible thing to do, to get in on a dip. Yeah, weekly looks also on point with that notion. So, all right. NQ. So this would be the futures of QQQ, and I am a futures trader. I do not like trading Qs on its own unless I'm in the room. I mostly trade NQ. So let's look at certain levels on NQ for all of my futures traders today. The most easiest thing that I like to do is put two lines on pre-market high and pre-market low and call it quits. So here's our pre-market high, and it doesn't have to be anything precise. Here's our pre-market low. There we go, from last night. And these are the levels I will be watching for. So, if it comes down here, this is a good level of support. I would be looking for a bounce. If it goes up here, this is a good level of resistance. I would be looking for rejection or continuation in the positive direction. So as of right now, it's looking like it's coming down to this level. And I'd be okay buying something over here, which is why I have these lines to remind me that it's okay to go long over here if there is a indication on a shorter time frame. So that's what I'm looking for. If there is a 3-minute double bottom over here, down here, at market open, I would be okay with that. I'd be okay going long at that level. So those are my levels on the Qs, if anybody wants to make note of it. Any other tickers you guys want me to take a look at before we jump in? Shop also, guys, feel free to type it in YouTube land, Slack here, the chat pane here, anyone. Okay, so shop is also an interesting gap. Guys, if this was a 5-minute chart, if we were just looking at this on a 5-minute chart, and we had a spin top candle after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green candles in a row, and then we had a spin top candle. What is the most obvious thing we're looking for on a 5-minute chart? We're looking for a pullback, right? I mean, that's the most obvious thing we would be looking for. Yes, exactly. So Adam's like, shop short. Yes, absolutely. I agree. So if there is a, now I'm not, the chart looks like this on a daily level. I'm not going to blindly go short at open. I want to wait for a setup. So I want to either wait for a double top around this level, or I want to wait for a 10 EMA setup around this level and see if we can pull back slightly. I think a pullback is definitely valid. Makes sense, right? So for example, if we were to think of this in an opposite direction, right? So here's our bear move. Here's that slight pullback, right? And I'm not looking for a spectacular move. I'm not thinking, oh, this gap's going to fill today. I don't think shop is going to pull back that much, but if it does, great, fantastic. I'm looking for a bear move down. That's what I'm looking for. Here's another good example. A retest is very likely to happen. When we have a run up like that, we're going to get a retest. So here we go. Shop is definitely very high up on my list of shorting. Apple and Shop are my two favorite ones to short today. Oracle and Airbnb are longs for sure. Ron says, good morning, Adam, from me and Ron. All right, Amazon didn't really have a crazy gap in any direction, but I'm gonna watch Amazon just because it's got this cute little double bottom. Now, this is considered a spin top candle, a doji candle. So long above here, that's exactly what a double bottom pattern should look like, right? Plus a 10 EMA on the daily chart. So I've been looking for a long above 140 on Amazon for a swing trade. I'm talking in perspective of a swing trade. For a day trade, there's not really anything interesting going on here. Oxy, Jay Linder says, let's go. Let's look at Oxy. Ooh, this is a cute gap up. Yeah, retest gap, buying the dip. I like Oxy. How much dividend does it pay? Do we know? Okay, 18 cents. That's pretty cool. Is it every quarter? Yeah. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, Oxy looks good for continuation. I do think it's going to get to 66.03 today. Definitely. So looking for buy the dip on Oxy, and then continuation. That's the only way I would trade it. I would not look for a short. So yeah, I mean, this level is definitely achievable on it. There's not much along the way. Let's look at it from a weekly chart perspective. Oh yeah, weekly looks so beautiful. It looks like a inverse head and shoulders on a weekly, a retest of that level, and a continuation. If Oxy breaks out of the 66 level, guys, I mean, this is looking good. This also looks like that bull flag retest, right? So there was this trend line, and we retested that trend line, and we're looking for that continuation. Yeah, I could see Oxy take off and go pretty high. It just needs to take out this 66 level, and then off we go. So Oxy, I would not be shorting it today. Definitely looking for continuation. I like where it's going. Especially, you know, I mean, it's paying out. Well, I don't know where the ex-dividend date is. When is the ex-dividend date? September 7th. Yeah. So I don't think anyone in their right mind, if they bought there, is going to go, oh, I'm going to sell because the ex-dividend date is coming up. So I think Oxy, just for continuation, is a good idea. To stop Oxy. Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm actually going to put an alert over here at 66. Crossing up. Yeah. And if it does that today, I mean, I'm looking to build a position in here. That's what I'm doing. So if it does that today, I might buy a little bit, and then next week I might add a little bit more to it. But it's, I mean, it's looking to explode. Let's look at it on a monthly chart. Monthly, yeah, that's a beautiful S curve. Definitely going up to 77. I mean, if we were to just look at it from a wave count perspective, this would be a 0, 1, 2, 3, all this consolidation 4, and we're looking to continue on up to 5. And nobody knows how long 5 lasts, but 5 definitely takes out 4. So 77 is a good target, and then look to continue higher, I guess. But yeah, like it, love it. Did I go over Tesla? No, I have not looked at Tesla. Let's look at Tesla real quick. This would be a first that I have not looked at Tesla. Tessie on a daily, and it's because, you know, Tesla's at an interesting level right now. Had a pretty nasty bear candle on Friday. So, you know, I was expecting a little bit of a pullback, but I wasn't expecting this sort of a dip. This, my friends, looks more like a bear flag. Do you guys agree? You see how we have this pole, and then we have this. So we still have the pole, which is much longer, and it could look like a bear flag, versus the Qs and SPY. You know, it doesn't really look like a bear flag anymore. It just kind of looks like we're continuing on higher. But Tesla looks a little bit more bear flaggish to me. So Adam says, I'll be watching Tesla to cross 242 to play all the way down to 140. 140? Adam, what? That's, I mean, that's got to be a very long swing trade. Rising wedge, yeah, but bearish below 242 for sure. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Adam, so when we have big candles like this, in my opinion, we've always retested them quite a bit. So a retest around this area, I would look for a retest first and then a short. So I wouldn't just go short right at open. I'd wait for a little bit more buying to come in and then short that level. So something like this, for example. So even on this day, we would have had some buying come in first and then went lower. So that's what I'm expecting on Tesla. So yeah, or it just continues on higher. It depends. I mean, it's very important for Tesla to take out this red candle for a bullish continuation to go fill this gap up. I could see that happen. Otherwise, if Tesla breaks down over here, then I could see it come all the way down to here, to 213. Today, not really, no. Also, in my opinion, guys, and I see this on a shorter time frame quite a bit. I don't see this on a longer time. I don't know if it happens more or less on the longer time frame or not. But when a bear flag happens, we have at least 3 points. So here's one, here's two, and here's a third before it breaks down. So again, I mean, does it have a little bit more oomph in it to go higher? Sure. Yes, it does. Can it go higher? Sure, it does. Or could it break down here? It could, but I'm open to it in either direction. For today, I'd be looking for a little bit more buying to come in and then look for a short around that area. And then look for that continuation. Let's look at it on a smaller time frame, guys. Small time frame. Yeah, so we're around here. So pre-market high, I would say like 250-ish level. I don't think that's I don't know if it's a real wick or not, but somewhere around here, 250, a rejection around there could very well lead to some serious shortage. Let's look at this real quick. Hold on. Trend line here. So there we go. Yeah, I think we could go test this level and then look for that rollover. Definitely looking good. Yeah. Good morning, Win. How's it going? Win's posting a chart. I'll take a look at it. Win's saying we can come down to 223. Yeah, agree. Yeah, we're in that channel right now on Tessie, so it's looking good. Okay, cool deal. Awesome sauce. All right, Meta is also, I mean, I like to look at Meta just because it is what it is. It's been doing well in the last couple of months and weeks and days. So I like to take a look at Meta every now and then. All right, no real gap here. This also looks like a bear flag to me. So I could see it break down quite a bit. So I would look for a bear continuation and see if it goes down a little bit more. But there's no real gap, so I'm not very interested in this. Let's check out NVIDIA. NVIDIA on the daily. Again, I've learned my lesson on the hard way on NVIDIA, just not to get in the way of something extremely bullish. So, I mean, it's gapping down below this candle. I could see it pull back a little bit more. If we let go of 475 today, NVIDIA moves quite a bit. I mean, it moves 10 points every day easily. So, we let go of this level right here. I think NVIDIA can come down to the 20 EMA on the daily. So I do think this guy can continue on down today. Let's see what happens at open, at open, and we'll take it from there. All right. We've got less than a minute before the market opens. Thank you guys at YouTube land for hanging out. If you haven't already done so, give us a like and subscribe to our channel if you're not already subscribed. But yeah, I will see you guys back again